Good day, Joycefuls! How are you? It's another day to have a fun, Cristine and joyful learning experience with me, Teacher Joyce. Get your pen and paper, pull yourself together, juniors, and we'll start the Cristine and joyful journey, learning English right away. Before we start our lesson, let's first have a guessing game. I know you love games, juniors. You have to guess what jobs are being mentioned from clues. There are 6 clues for each job. The first clue is quite difficult, and the last clue will be very easy for you. For the first clue, you must be responsible. Second, you must wear a uniform. Third, you have to have a lot of training. Fourth, you have to travel very far. Any guess? Let's take and continue to the 5th clue. You must take your passport to work. I know you know now the answer, but let's have the last clue. You have to sit in the cockpit of an airplane. Do you know now the answer? Yes, you are all right. Now, let's begin the guessing game.
For our first job, first clue is you have to wake up early. Second, you have to work hard every day. Third, you must be fit. Fourth, you must operate machinery. Fifth, you must work in the countryside. And lastly, you must work with plants and animals.
3, 2,
Have you guessed what is it? The answer is farmer. You got it right. Now, let's move on to the next. Second job. You have to work in a team. You have to wear a uniform. You must be brave and helpful. You must not be afraid of heights. You must sometimes sleep at work. You have to save people from fires.
3, 2, 1.
Yes, it's a firefighter. Good job. Third job. You have to be supportive. You have to speak to many people. You must not be late for work. You have to be always well prepared. You must be knowledgeable. And you have to work in a classroom.
3, 2,
What is the answer?
1.
Alright, it's a teacher. Very good. Fourth job. You must be very intelligent. You have to wear a uniform. You should be calm when things are difficult. You have to be good at making decisions. You have to be good in science.
3,
Did
2,
you hear your answers
1.
right? Yes, it's a doctor.
Good job, Joycefuls! Good guessing! But, have you remembered any of the responsibilities mentioned earlier? Alright, let's pick some statements. You have to wake up early. You must not be afraid of heights. You should be calm when things are difficult. You don't have to speak all the time. Have you observed the highlighted words in each sentence? From the highlighted words, what do you think will be our lesson for today? You are all right. Those words are what we call modals. At the end of this episode, here are your key takeaways. Identify the modals used to express permission, obligation, and prohibition. Use modal verbs that express permission, obligation, and prohibition appropriately. And use appropriate modal verbs that express permission, obligation, and prohibition in actual conversation. What are modals? Modal verbs or modals are a very important part of the English grammar. Modals are a special type of auxiliary verbs or helping verbs. They are used to indicate modality. They are used together with the main verb of the sentence and cannot be used on their own. Modals are used with another verb to indicate permission, prohibition, or obligation. The modals can, could, and may are used to express permission. When we say permission, it's alright to do something. We are being allowed to do something.
Can is an informal way of asking for permission. Its formal form is could. For example, can I talk to you for a minute? Can you lend me 20 pesos? May is the most formal way of asking permission. For example, may I go to the bathroom? You may watch a movie once you are finished with your homework. It is formal in a way that you are asking or given permission by an authority.
Prohibition. It means that it's not alright to do something.
We use the modals cannot or can't, must not or mustn't, and should not or shouldn't to express prohibition. Cannot or can't is used if something is against the rules. For example, you cannot remove your face mask at public places. Teenagers can't go out. Must not or mustn't is used when the prohibition comes from the speaker. For example, we must not let ourselves get sick. She mustn't play video games until she is done. Should not or shouldn't. We use should not or shouldn't when we judge if an idea is good or bad. For example, you should not give chocolates to dogs. We shouldn't let the pandemic stop us from doing good things.
Obligation. When we express obligation, it means that something is necessary or needed. We use the modals must and have to, and should and ought to express obligation.
Must and have to are modals that we use to express a firm obligation or necessity. For example, you must see a doctor when you are experiencing COVID-19 symptoms. You have to wear a face mask every time you go out. Should and ought to. These are used to express a recommendation or moral obligation. For example, teenagers should always take their responsibility as a student. You ought to clean up your room.
Now, I'm sure you are all ready to answer our learning task. Ready, Joycefuls? I'm sure that you are. Let's begin. Notice the highlighted words and fill the blanks whether the words suggest permission, obligation, or prohibition.
Everyone must not remove their face mask in public places.
3, 2, 1.
What is the idea being expressed in this statement? The answer is prohibition because of the Modal must not. May I have a glass of water?
3, 2, 1.
The answer is permission. Because of the Modal may. Children ages 15 and below should not go outside.
3, 2, 1.
It is prohibition. Prohibition because of the Modal should not. Can I donate my old clothes to people in need?
3, 2, 1.
Right, it is permission. But because of the Modal can. Should always wash your hands.
3, 2, 1.
Right, it is obligation. Because of the Modal should. We have to maintain social physical distancing to avoid direct contact with other people.
3, 2, 1.
Correct, it is obligation because of the Modal have to.
Ready for more? I'm sure you are. Let's level up. Choose a modal that is best complete each statement.
I tried calling my friend to ask help for my assignment but her line blank be reached. A. Can't. B. Haven't. C. May not. Or D. Mustn't.
3, 2, 1.
Number 2. The secretary told us that we blank now address our problem to the barangay captain. A. Can. B. May. C. Should. Or D. Will.
3, 2, 1.
I need the item by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so I asked the delivery rider if he blank deliver my parcel on time. A. Can. B. May. C. Should. Or D. Will.
3, 2, 1.
4. My grandmother told me that I blank eat more fruits and vegetables to remain healthy. A. Can. B. May. C. Should. Or D. Will.
3, 2, 1.
5th. Our teacher said that blank turn on our mic during online classes when we do not have something to say. A. Can't. B. Haven't. C. Mustn't. Or D. Won't.
3, 2, 1.
Awesome, Joycefuls! Let us challenge you more. Given the scenarios, pick the most appropriate response that corresponds to the statement. Choose the letter of the correct answer.
Ivan's little brother asked him if he could help him finish his assignments. But Ivan is still doing his. How will he tell his brother? A. I have to help you. B. I'm sorry, I can't help you right now. C. I'm sorry, I mustn't help you right now. Or D. I won't help you.
3, 2, 1.
2. Jen will go to the school to get her modules, but she wants her best friend Alex to accompany her. How will she tell her? A. Can you accompany me to school? B. You may accompany me to school, right? C. You must accompany me to school. Or D. You should accompany me to school.
3, 2, 1.
3. During her online class, Amy wants to answer her teacher's question, but they are told to ask permission first before turning their mic on. How will she ask permission? A. I can answer, ma'am. B. I must answer, ma'am. C. Ma'am, I have to answer your question. Or letter D. May I answer, ma'am?
3, 2, 1.
4. Luna's friends ask her to join them in doing TikTok videos, but She is not yet done with household chores. How will she tell her friends? A. Alright, I should join you first. B. I'm sorry, I have to finish doing the household chores first. C. I'm sorry, I mustn't join you. Or letter D. Sure, I can join you now.
3, 2, 1.
5. Ranjun is having a hard time answering his mathematics module. He then asked Mark for his answers. Knowing that cheating is bad, what should Mark tell Ranjun? A. You can ask for my answers. B. You cannot ask for my answers. C. You may not ask for my answers. Or letter D. You should not ask for my answers.
3, 2, 1.
Marvelous juniors, for our last activity, given below are situations. Create a simple dialogue showing the modals used in expressing permission, obligation, and prohibition.
Arizona wants to use April's roller skates. Help her ask permission from April. Martha is only allowed to watch television before 8 p.m. One night, her favorite show aired late. Help Martha to ask permission from her mother. Leia's brother has been asking permission to play outside, but because of the restrictions, Leia cannot allow his brother. Help Leia tell her brother. Angelo has observed that his uncle doesn't wear face mask when going out. Help Angelo reach out to his uncle. Ivan's little brother asked him if he could help him finish his assignments, but Ivan is still doing his. How will he tell his brother?
Excellent performance, Joycefuls. I am glad that you stayed with me up to this point. But before we wrap this up, let's take a look if you really bags our key takeaways. Have you identified the modals used to express permission, obligation, and prohibition? Have you used modal verbs that express permission, obligation, and prohibition? And have you appropriately used the modal verbs that express permission, obligation, and prohibition in actual conversation? Let's take a recap. Always keep in mind that modal verbs are type of auxiliary or helping verbs. What ideas do modals indicate? Modals are used with another verb to indicate permission, prohibition, or obligation. What are the modals that we use to express permission? Right, we use may and can to express permission. What are the modals that we use to express prohibition? We use cannot, can't, should not, shouldn't, and must not or mustn't to express prohibition. We use must and have to, and should and ought to express obligation. You did a really great job, juniors. Hope you enjoy and learn something from this episode. Bye!